Imagine walking down a path twisted and dark. This is not a path you or I would choose to tread, but for some, it's a journey of their own. A journey into the mind of a rapist. What leads someone to commit such a heinous act? The answer lies in a landscape where power, control, and distorted beliefs intersect. At the core of many rapists lie a hunger for power, a thirst for control. For them, rape is not just about sex, it's about dominance. Studies show that over 50% of rapists use sexual violence as a mean to assert control, often over someone they perceive weaker. It's not desire that drives them, but the intoxicated feeling of power over another human being. But control is only part of the story. Imagine a mind where reality is twisted, where harmful belief warps the truth. Cognitive distortions, like believing that a victim wanted it, fuel the action of many rapists. According to psychological research, these distorted thoughts are a key factor in why they commit these acts. They convince themselves that their victim deserved it, wanted it, or led them on. These lies shield them from the truth of cruelty. Then there are those whose mind are full of empathy, whose mind are void of empathy, Psychopath, people who feel nothing as they inflict pain. Studies estimate that around 10 to 15% of rapists exhibit psychopathic traits. For them, people are not people, they are object, tool, a mean to an end. These rapists are often impulsive, driven by an aggressive nature that leave no room for remorse. Their actions are cold, calculated, and terrifyingly detached. But sometimes the motivation is even darker. Rooted in sexual deviance, certain individuals have paraphilic disorders, where the sexual pleasure is tied to the suffering or humiliation of others. For them, the act of rape is the fulfillment of twisted fantasies. Roughly 20% of rapists are believed to have these paraphilic tendencies, where violence becomes their addiction and control their drug. Revenge, a dish best served when cold, but in the mind of some rapists, it's served violently. For them, rape is just an act of retaliation, often for perceived wrongs. Perhaps the victim represents someone who hurt them, or maybe they are part of a group that the rapist despise. The act becomes a twisted form of justice, where the victim pays for the sin of others. This type of motivation is especially common in conflict zones, where rape is used as weapon of war, a tool of terror. But the root of rape can also be found in the very culture we live in: toxic masculinity. An environment where aggression, dominance, and objectification of others are glorified can breed rapists. In such culture, sexual violence is often downplayed, excused, or even encouraged. Peer influence plays a significant role too, particularly among young men, the victim or both. Childhood trauma and psychological disorder can lead someone down a dark path. Studies show that significant number of rapists have themselves been a victim of abuse. Their trauma distorts their sense of reality, leading to behaviors that are both self-destructive and harmful to others. Mental illness, while not an excuse, can be a contributing factor, creating a dangerous mix of anger, confusion, and violence. Finally, there is a belief that they can get away with it, that no one hold them accountable. For some rapists, past experiences of impunity feed this mentality. Maybe they have escaped justice before, or perhaps they see our judicial system as weak or corrupt. Whatever the reason, the lack of consequences emboldens them, allowing them to act without fear. The mind of a rapist is a complex, often terrifying place, but with understanding this darkness is key to prevent it from spreading by shedding light on these motives. We take the first step towards dismantling the force that drives such violence. We must confront these truths not with fear but with resolve, determined to create a world where rape is not just condemned but eradicated. Thank you. If you like this video helpful, if this video made any dent on your new understanding, please subscribe us.